Hey guys, it's me, Matt the Snow Monster. Today I'm going to be cleaning out my NES collection. It's been a hot minute since I've played anything on the NES. I've been wanting to kind of clean out this collection for some time, and I've been pondering about this question for a week of what does the NES mean to me? And the more I thought about it, I realized the NES still does kind of matter to me in some odd, weird way. It's kind of weird to think about because I am someone who grew up in the 90s and I didn't really have a Super Nintendo. My parents found an NES at a garage sale, and it was something that they thought would be a fun little family activity. We couldn't afford a lot of luxurious things like going out to the movies often, getting fast food, and we had to work with what we had. And luckily, the NES was something that we were able to afford, and that was kind of my first foray into video games. So without the NES, I wouldn't have known about Nintendo, Super Mario Brothers, or any sort of thing. So very thankful for Nintendo at the time being an affordable thing that my parents could get their hands on. We didn't have the NES for long because sadly we had to sell it. My parents were needing money to get into a new home, and we just didn't have video games for the longest time after the NES. I only have vivid memories of playing NES with my mom and dad, but that wasn't until much later where I would get bitten by the retro bug again. So around the Wii era during the holidays, I was saving up a lot of money from chores, mowing people's lawns, and just saving up the allowance that I could get to grab a Nintendo Wii. But unfortunately, Wiis were really hard to get because they sold out really, really fast. And by that time around Christmas, I was surprised with the Nintendo Wii. So after kind of paying that off and I had a lot of leftover money saved up, I ended up buying a lot of NES games on Virtual Console. The Virtual Console was a great entry point to play a lot of NES games that I didn't end up growing up with, but it got me to introduce myself to a lot of the original origins of Super Mario Brothers or Zelda or Punch-Out or Metroid, and all those sorts of games. And if I were to make a list of NES games that I really, really like, it would be Tetris, Metroid, The Legend of Zelda, Mega Man 2, Punch-Out, and Super Mario Brothers. Those were games that I would replay over and over and over. I never got sick of it. And the more that I think about it, I really wanted to get my hands on an NES for myself, because while I could play those games digitally, I really, really wanted to have a physical NES in my collection. And because of the NES, it got me to collect a lot of physical games in the library, which is kind of insane to think about. My NES collection isn't as vast as many other people on YouTube or just in the retro community in general, but I feel like the amount that I own in my collection is very humble. But if you were to compare it to the Japanese games I own a lot of Famicom games. I don't know, something about the cartridges and the labels being small and just very cutesy is just something that really sticks with me, so it's easier to collect personally. There are a few things that I would like to own for the NES. I would like to have my own Rob the Robot. I would love to have the Power Glove and a copy of Kid Icarus and Star Tropics in the box, but retro collecting these days is super expensive, and I cannot afford to get into that hobby again, because that time has come and gone, and everyone is scalping and ruining the experience for everyone, which I absolutely hate. These days, I don't play as much NES games as I used to as a kid, but I do find myself replaying a lot of those games. The last few NES games I have replayed as of late was Kirby's Adventure, Legend of Zelda, and just replaying Super Mario Brothers over and over. I don't know, there's something magical about replaying NES games that kind of captures a lot of the joy I had when I was a small child and also when I was a teenager, just getting really into NES games again because of the Wii. I feel like in this current era of video games, there's a lot of big budget titles that want to grab our attention, but something with NES games, they're meant to be played in small spurts, whether it's like 30 minutes or even an hour. I don't know, I don't feel the pressure that I get nowadays with modern gaming, where I could just pick up something, enjoy it for like 15, 30 minutes or maybe an hour, and then I can just put it down and come back to it later without worrying about like, oh, I need to pick up progress again or something like that. It's much easier with emulation these days, especially with like Nintendo Switch Online and just a whole myriad of ways to play NES games without having to worry about the stress of, oh, what if I lose my progress? Well, we don't have to worry about that because we got save states and all that. So something to kind of keep your eyes open. If you do have Nintendo Switch Online, definitely check out some NES games. I highly recommend it. Anyway, that's about it for me. Thanks for sitting down and watching. I do want to impose a question to everyone. What kind of NES games are you playing currently? Are you playing on actual hardware? Are you playing it through via emulator? Or are you playing it through Nintendo Switch Online? Please let me know. I would love to hear about what video game escapades that you guys are up to. Anyway, that's all for me. Stay frosty, everyone. I will see you when I see you, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you then.